Well, hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name's Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist, internationally published author, and just so happy to be here today because I want to take your mindset from where you are right now to a whole new level so that you can achieve all the things that you want to in your life, business, and with your health, fitness and body as well. And I want to start by asking you this question. What if you knew that you only had 9,490 days left to live? Would you act differently today or tomorrow if you had that much time to live? Don't think about it too long. Okay, give me your answer. Okay, would that be different if you had one day to live? Do you think it would be different? And I think the answer, if you're honest with yourself, would be yes. Now the reality is that for me, based on my genetics, I could have somewhere between 5,110 days left to live or 9,490. That's based on my family tree and my genetics. Now, what I focus on is what I can control. And that is, I can control what I think about. I can control what I'm doing for my body every day. I can control the exercise. I can control the strength training. I can control my sleep. I can control the food that I'm putting in, the liquids, all of that. I'm in control of that. I can't take control of the genetics that come my way when I reach a certain age or as my body gets older, that just certain diseases are just a makeup of my DNA, that I'm going to get those things no matter what, like dementia and those types of things. I can't do anything about that, but I can always put myself in the best possible position to avoid having those things. Or if they do come my way, maybe I can deal with them better than if I didn't look after my health in the way that I do. But it's an interesting question, because I think we are born lazy and we have to learn how to be more productive, how to get more out of life. And I want you to ask yourself this question. If you did die tomorrow, have you done enough? Have you done enough with your life? Have you achieved the things that you want to achieve? I certainly haven't. And I feel that if I lived to 180, which apparently people are being born right now that will live to be 180 years of age because of the technology that either doesn't exist yet or is coming our way that is going to enable people to live that long. I think, imagine all the things I could get done. Imagine all the books that I could write, or the courses that I could put out, or the conversations that I could have, the impact that I could have on people by my experiences and my teachings. I think that's really, really powerful. So have you done enough? Have you, in recent times, are you making the most of your time in COVID? Now, I mean by that, you're getting more time now than you've probably ever had before. Now, I appreciate that some people listening to this are probably busier than they've ever been before because of they work in the medical field or part of the supply of food chain or something like that. But most people aren't in that situation. Most people aren't able to be speaking on stage, for instance, or attending events, or are running their business in the way that they used to. So it's meaning that there's less travel and there's more time somewhere in your week as a result of those activities being gone from your life. Are you making the most of it? I had an incredible day today, breaking myself out of this frustrating mindset that I've been in because of the way that my business has been growing so beautifully. And then after 16 days of being open from our previous lockdown, we were locked down again. And it looks like, I would suggest by today's Thursday, by Sunday this week, we will go into the fourth stage of lockdown, which nobody knows what that looks like yet. It's just spiraling out of control. And they're nothing like the numbers in the US. We're talking hundreds in our state. In the US, they're talking, like 65,000, I think it was yesterday, reported. Just horrific numbers. But the population is a lot different as well. But I wanted to snap myself out of that mindset and say, do you know what? I need to be getting more out of these last few days. So we've been in a further lockdown for another week now, and I'm thinking, great, I've got this time now for the next 6 weeks and beyond to be focusing on getting more output like I did in the first shutdown. So I created a plan for all the things that I want to be doing while we are locked down, while I don't have as many clients coming into me, while I've got this extra space. I need to maximize what it is that I'm doing, because it's such a valuable piece of time that I can be using to make sure that when things open up again, I've got both feet almost like running off the treadmill, and both feet are hitting the ground running straight away, because I am doing all this extra work during the shutdown. So are you doing that? I want you to also think, what would you do differently? You're dying tomorrow. What would you do differently if halfway through that day you were told that actually you've got another 20 years to live? What would you do differently? Think about those things. Would you follow a different career path? Are you following your life's purpose? Are you really following your life's purpose? And I know that's a difficult question to answer for some people, because I was 40 years old before I discovered what I truly wanted to do. And that's what I'm doing now. I didn't know up to that point. I thought about it a lot, but I didn't actually know it. But you know when you're there. Life is so precious and so short. I feel that most of us don't maximize what we're doing with our time. We have so many distractions around us all the time to really take away from what is really important in our lives, and that is building relationships, making a difference to other people's lives through your products, your services, the way that you connect with people, doing all that kind of stuff, not just mindlessly wasting our time watching TV or scrolling social media or all that kind of stuff. I was having a conversation with, actually it was one of my clients just yesterday, and she's a bit younger, and well, actually I think she's half my age. And I was saying to her, back when I was her age in the workplace, I said, there were no mobile phones. And we were talking in the context of how the information that people require is just so quick and so here and now, right now. And her boss was sending her emails at like 10 o'clock at night and that kind of stuff. And I said, look, when I was your age, what happened was you might work up till 6 or 7 o'clock at night in the office, and then you log off, and the technology didn't exist for you to be able to get emails at home. The technology just didn't exist at that point. I know it's hard to believe, young ears listening to this, but that was the case. And then when mobile phones came, they couldn't get emails. All you could do was send some text messages. So you couldn't take videos, take photos, do any of that kind of stuff. But now we live in a world where everything is like, bang, it's constant. I mean, I'm working with people around the world, and I'm asleep and there's messages going off, there's emails coming through. I'll get up to like 30 plus messages, emails and a combination of messages each day. And that's not to mention what's going on Facebook as well. So it's constant. There's a constant stream of information. So it's easy to get distracted without thinking about what's really important. Are you really making the significant contribution that you want to in this life, rather than just going through life aimlessly and focusing on the money side of things without making that real impact on people's lives? One of the other factors which I think is really important is, if you were going to die tomorrow, have you righted the wrongs that have happened in your life, whether it be relationships, or we've all said something that we wish we hadn't said, or we've whether it be different relationships. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It could be a business relationship, a friendship, a family member, something like that, where you've just regretted something that you have said, or regretted something that you haven't said. It's almost like losing a parent, and you wish you'd told them that you'd love them, but you never said it when you really wanted to. Making sure that you do those things. I mean, live your life without regrets. I mean, that's the That's the question. We all do things that we think, man, I wish I hadn't done that. But you learn from it. You make mistakes. We're human. Let's make the mistake, learn from it, move on. Don't make it again, because that's stupidity. I think the message that I want to leave you with here is you want to live tomorrow like it is your last day. And I know I'm not the first person to say that, but the talk is cheap. And I think today I had a really great exercise in thinking about, I can see how quickly and easily the next 45 days or however long we're going to be shut down for is going to pass. And I could get to the end of that 45 days and say, wow, I'm glad that's over. And then if I wanted to be honest with myself and say, well, what have I achieved over that last 45 days? And I say, well, I haven't really done the things that I could have done. There was all this time, this opportunity where I could have done this, but I didn't. Like I think about the number of hours that are in a day that you could be working. And most people, I don't know, in an office job tend to work, about 8 hours a day. Typically, most people work about 210 days a year. If you take out public holidays, you take out weekends, you take out leave, it's about 210 days a year. And if you just do the mathematics on all that, I'll just write it on the board here. So we've got 210 days times 8. So what's that? 1,680. 1,680 hours. You've got a year of work. Now imagine if you doubled that. So you said, okay, well, actually, I'm going to work 16 hours. Okay, so all of a sudden, we're up to, what's that, 1,200, 1,300, hang on, what am I doing? 3,360. You're up to 3,360. Now, let's just say that you said, do you know what? I'm going to work for 365 days. So you're then going to take that and you're going to add an extra 155 days of 16-hour working hours in there as well. Now you might say, well, that's pretty unrealistic. I mean, my schedule looks something like that though. I would now work every single day. Now I didn't used to. But look how much extra, just by going from 8 hours to 16 hours, you say, well, that's a big change, but that's just on 210 days. You've doubled the amount of extra hours of work that you've got done, of productive time. And then you've got the potential to add another 155 days of work in there. And say, oh, well, I need to have weekends off. Well, if you want to make a real impact on people's lives and grow things to where you want to, then you can't have the weekends off. Now, it doesn't mean that, like the way that I do it, the weekends that I have the kids, I get up early, I work when they're asleep. I might do some work when they're awake, but then I spend the rest of the time with them. So they're not 16-hour days, but you get the point. Are you getting the most out of the hours that are existing? Or are you saying that I'm too tired to do that, I'm not going to do that now because I need my rest? If you want to make a difference, you can't do that. So, live life like you don't have much time left. It's running out, because trust me, every day that passes, it's getting shorter. If I know that I've only got 5,110 days left to live, potentially, and tomorrow that's 5,109. And then how quickly has this year already gone? We're up to July, and it's like, man, it feels like I just put the Christmas tree away. The last 6 months have just flown by, and it's been a horrible year in terms of what's been happening in our country with bushfires, floods, climate change protests. The COVID stuff hit in March, and it's been there ever since. So it has been a really tough year. This next 12 months is going to fly by just as fast, and there's another 365 days off my total that I've got left to live. I made a decision many years ago to say, I'm not going to go to my grave wondering what if. And I'm going to leave it all out there. I'm going all in because I want to make the biggest difference that I can when I leave. And I want to have the biggest impact on the clients that I serve, on my relationships, all relationships, and especially on my children, to make sure that my kids appreciate the work ethic that I have, so that they can go on to have an incredible work ethic as well, and dream big, and knowing that I'm a big part in inspiring them to do that. So if you want to know how you can work with me one-on-one, all you need to do is go to the Mental Toughness and Body Show, scroll to the bottom, click on the link there, and you can opt in for a free 30-minute consultation with me personally. And I'd love to connect with you and have a conversation and see how we can make a difference. All right, have a great day wherever you are. I will see you tomorrow.